Well, do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 158. Today we're going to talk about my pick of the week, which wasn't very good last week, none of them. My week in poker, the election, the craziness, the world, the Mouthpiece is next. Welcome, everybody. How you guys doing today? Welcome to the Mouthpiece. Bad week in the NFL last week. I somehow went 4-6, 0-2-1 on my top threes to bring our record for the year on our pick of the week to 2-3-1. Our second best pick 3-3, and our third best pick 3-3. So, we're not doing very well. 8-9-1 is losing. But it is week 7, and all the favorites, I do not believe, will continue to win over and over and over and over and over and over again. So last week, for the first time in the history of betting, 10 road favorites won and covered. 10 road favorites won and covered. If you include Denver on Thursday, that's 13 consecutive road favorites have won and covered. That's like like 3,000 to 1 parlay, 5,000 to 1 parlay, some crazy. Now, if you believe that's going to continue to happen, then God bless you. But I don't believe so. I been subbing on the We Win podcast with them the last couple of weeks on Tuesday. And I put my 2 picks out, and by the time the weekend comes around, I'm on 2 different picks. Like last week, I put out the Giants versus Cincinnati and ended up Cincinnati is one of my best picks. That was, and so, that's just what happens with looking at injuries and crazy things. So this week, I am leaning towards going back to the well on some of the teams that I lost with last week. So I'm going with my pick of the week, and I really, really like this pick, and I am buying this up to 10. It's 9.5 today. I laid $1.20 and took 10 with the Titans. The Bills on a short week, coming off that emotional win over the Jets, have got to come flat. They have to come flat here. And if you look at the measuring stick of this game, is the Titans average 4.4 yards or 4.2 yards per play and give up 4.2, and the Bills, they average 5.2 but give up 5.2. And if it wasn't for Will Levis throwing it to the other team, the Titans have given away 3 games. They're, what are they, 1-5, and they've literally punted off 3 games. They should be, they should have 4 wins. They should be 4-1, 4 whatever. I mean, they played 1 bad game. So I'm going with the Titans plus 10 as my pick of the week. And originally, on the We Win podcast, I picked San Francisco as my pick of the week, and I went with the Giants as my second best pick. But the Giants all-pro left tackle is out, and I just decided to kind of stay away from that game. And I still like Frisco a lot, but Patrick Mahomes is 12-1-1 as a dog, and Andy Reid is 21-4 off a bye. So you go You got to be crazy to go against that stat. I thought Kansas City was fixed the last time they played because they crushed the Saints, but who hasn't crushed the Saints? The Saints have now lost 5 in a row, and they've given up 51 to Tampa Bay and 33 to Denver. So is Kansas City's offense fixed? No. They played, the Saints are just terrible. So I just don't know. So, I mean, there's, I really like the Titans as my top pick. The squares are taking Atlanta. Seattle has their defense healthy. I think they still suck, Seattle, but I don't know. That's just a game that I just decided to stay away from. My second and third best pick is really tough. I'm leaning a lot towards the Jaguars, minus the 5.5. They've been in London for 2 weeks. The Patriots' offensive line's out. You have now. Last week we went against Chicago because rookie quarterbacks going to London were like 1-5, and now you got the Drake May going to London. The team has completely beaten up. But, laying 5.5 with that piece of shit Jag team is kind of crazy in itself. So, but I am leaning a lot towards that. Let's see what else is going on. I like the Jets minus 1.5. I really do. And it's not because they got Devontae Adams. It's because they literally dominated last week out in the second half. They gave up 3 points, and I don't even know how they lost that game. I don't think much of the Steelers. I've told you that. And they're starting Russell Wilson, who's probably worse for them than Fields. So, it's kind of where my thoughts on the Ravens and Bucks. I like the over. I lean the Ravens. I think the Ravens are a juggernaut. Tampa Bay, they just beat up a bad team last week, but Tampa Bay's been good. There's a lot of games I like this week, but I'm trying to figure out. I'm definitely taking the Titans plus 10 as my pick of the week, and my second best pick of the week is really, I've been going back and forth on so many of these games. I know they're without their, I'm going to go with the Jets as my number 2 pick, laying 1.5 at Pittsburgh. And my number 3 pick, I really like the Packers at 2.5, but you can't get a 2.5 anymore. It's a 3. The Browns are terrible, but it's a division game. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna go with the 3 teams we went down with last week. 3 of the 4. I'm gonna go with the Jags. I'm gonna lay the 5.5 in London with the Jags as my third best pick. The Patriots are just a disaster right now. I don't know if they're, but even I don't know if the Jags are 5.5 better than anybody. So all the teams we went down with last week, we went down with the Jags against the Bears. We went down with the Titans against Indy. We went down with the Jets against the Bills. So we're going back to the 3 we lost with last week. Titans as my 1, Jets as my 2, and I don't know, man. I had on the show Frisco as my 1. Do I really want to take the Jags as my 3? Or should I take my first? I can't take Frisco, man, with all that shit out. I could take the Giants plus 3.5. Even without their left tackle. Fuck the Jags. I've gone down too many times with them. We're going to go with, I'll go with the Giants plus 3.5. Against the Eagles is my third. Fuck it. So, in Circa, they pay $25,000 per quarter every 4 games. Whoever has the worst record. I'm tied for 8th at 1-9 in Circa the last 2 weeks. So I'm trying to pick losers. So all the games I really like, I'm going to go opposite, because like when you're 1-9 in 2 weeks, you're not going to win the Circa Millions. So the best thing I could do is try and pick losers the next 2 weeks and maybe win $25,000. I'll probably pick 5 winners trying to pick losers. That's just my best friend tells me, he goes, what do you mean? Why don't you just keep doing what you're doing? Put out your picks and put them in there, and they all lose. But I don't believe all these home dogs are going to keep losing. I don't believe all these dogs are going to. I mean, I just don't believe you. You know, the last week I talked to a guy who runs a book, said it was the worst beating they've taken that they could ever remember. Well, it went favorite and over almost every game. So I bet $5,000 with Phil. He's got a 5-game lead on me in our pick'em. And I spotted him 5 wins and bet him $5,000. Who's going to end up with more? But all he does is pick favorites. So he finished like second last week. I mean, he just picks every favorite on the board. So, that won't keep going that way. Yeah, I can't take the Jags. I just can't. How you guys doing? Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it. It's like you can have an opinion on every game. I got, in my pick 'em, I have to pick 10. I think the Arizona might bounce back against the Cardinals. I don't think much of the Chargers. They're not that good. Their defense is pretty good, but they got no offense. I think the home dogs are going to come in this week. Cardinals, maybe Bucks. I don't think much of the Steelers. But who knows? So anyways, so my week in poker basically consisted of today. I was up like 6,600, and then I lost like 3K in a pot, which is ridiculous. A guy on an ace queen 10 board called me down with queen 5. It hit a 5 on the river, and I had ace 9. He doesn't even raise me on the river. Imagine like calling me on the flop and the turn and making 2 pair on the river and just calling. Yeah. So I won like 3,800 today. Game's pretty good. I'm probably going to go back in and play after I'm done. So still waiting to get my medication. Trying to get my Vyvanse. Can't get it anywhere. So that's kind of why I'm not really playing. And I'm hoping to get it by Monday so I can start playing again. So that's kind of where we stand on poker. Let's see what else is going on. I got real lucky today. I got 13,000 in with jacks against kings, and I hit a jack on the second board. So against a guy that was monkey tilting. So when they're monkey tilting, I just can't fold. So I did get lucky for 13K today, and to be up like 3,800 is pretty good. As far as the baseball, I've been literally watching the baseball every single day, and I'm picking mostly winners up until today, where I somehow picked the Dodgers like an idiot. And I also have Cleveland, like an idiot. So, but I'm just fucking around, watching the games, chilling. My back's been really bad, like really, really bad. Like I can't even get up. I can't bend over. It's not been good. So I'm trying to get this MRI. I took a couple months ago to my doctor, and unfortunately, I've been just having problems like figuring what the fuck's wrong with me. So pain's been terrible. The kitties are good. So I ended up naming the kitties Mookie and Misty, or Mookie and Mittens. Which one do you guys like better? He's definitely a Mookie. And so but the little girl, I haven't decided. I think I'm going to go with Misty. But I like Misty better. You like Misty better? Me too. So I think it's going to be Mookie and Misty. And they're just, they're a bundle of joy. They're so cute. They run around like crazy. And do you guys want to see them? Who wants to see the kitties? Misty, like Misty also? Okay. You guys want to see the kitties? Go grab two of them. Go bring them in. Yeah, it was just cracked. Is it still cracked? It's all the way open? Are they in there? Okay, you guys can see the kitties. They're funny. They're so cute. They are. I think that's why my back hurts, because I just can't stop playing with them. And they're just a bundle of joy. They're so much fun. And they're funny. They're funny as hell. And the little 4-year-old Gizmo, the one that's scared of everything, he's their best friend. He goes in and he plays with them. And then, but my alpha male, Aces, he hates them. He fucking hisses at them. He fucking attacks them. So I kind of let them out little by little, and let them kind of play. They're just getting crazier and crazier. But I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow at 3 to get their shots, and because they need to get their shots, and they're not going to like that very much. And yeah, that's about it, man. So I really haven't done much. I've been in a lot of pain. The new kitties make me happy. And I got too many cats now. I have the crazy cat dude. Can't help it. They're so much fun. Could you get them? Just go underneath and grab them. Oh, they're running all over? Oh, God. They're crazy. Oh, well. Maybe we won't be able to get them. I sent Danny in to go get them. Hi, Clayton. How you doing, buddy? So, I sit there. I watch my football on Monday. I watch my football on Thursday. I watch my college on Saturday and Sunday. I've been eating good, but I'm no longer losing weight for some reason, because I don't have my Vyvanse. And watching the baseball every day. Fucking Cleveland sucks. And the Dodgers put up like 6 runs today and never had a chance because the manager's an idiot.
They're too fast for me.
They're too fast for you?
All over the place.
They're funny. I told you they're out of control now.
I can't get them. They're scaring me all of a sudden.
What's that?
I don't know why suddenly they're scared of me.
Oh, they're not scared of you. They just like to run.
It was fine earlier. I was able to.
They just Georgia. I like Georgia. I don't give a fuck. I'll take the 5 with Georgia. Kamala is killing dementia Don. Yeah. You do know in the betting markets, Trump is now 2-1 favorite, and she was so embarrassing at her interview on Fox the other day that it'll probably be 3-1 by the end of the week. So I'm not sure what you're reading or what news you're watching, but yeah, sorry, Barry. I should have announced it earlier. That's on me. I don't think Nevada's going to go red. I think that we're going to win the rest of them across the board. I truly believe the election will be over by 10 o'clock on election night. I really do. The betting markets are bullshit. You do understand that there's something called a hidden Trump vote, okay, which is about 4 points in 2016 and 4 points in 2020. They have now. I've been sent, after never being sent one poll in 8 years. I have now been sent 7 polls in the last month. Guess how many I answered? Exactly 0. And Trump voters don't answer polls because they don't want them to know anything. All you had to do, we're going to talk a lot of election. Did it fall in? Really? Yes. 3-2. Let's fucking go. I got Cleveland. Let's fucking go. Thanks for the update. You were ahead of me by about 3 seconds. If you watched the Al Smith dinner last night, which was very funny, by the way. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
And Kamala is the first presidential candidate since 1982 to not go to the Al Smith dinner. She sent some retarded... Did you see that video she sent? It was so retarded. She looked even worse. And it allowed Trump to really clown on her hard. Like, when you don't have somebody to clown back, it's almost like I turned on CNN, and even CNN said she made a terrible mistake not going. It allowed Trump to land a lot of one-liners where she couldn't hit back. You know what I mean? So that was pretty funny. If you haven't seen it, I think the funniest one of all was, there were so many. Probably the one where he said, men for Harris. White dudes for Harris. And he says, well, that's good. The white dudes are voting for Harris, but the women, their wives and their lovers will be voting for me. That was really funny. There was a lot of funny ones. Dude, this goes to show you how brainwashed you are. Like, Trump is afraid to do interviews. Okay, go grab my phone off of my bed, because I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm gonna. I forgot to retweet this out. I'm going to retweet you out this stat. Okay, she's done none. She went into one hostile fucking environment and got her fucking ass handed to her. We're going to talk politics in the next 2 weeks. I laid off of it the last 3 weeks because you guys are all my friends. I had a lot of Democratic friends in the chat. And, it's really divisive. This shit's gross and divisive. Here's another thing. Did you watch him with Chuck Schumer yesterday? Like, they were talking and shooting the shit, and they're like buddies, and he knocks them on they each hit themselves on the arm, and they started laughing. It's all a scam. Maybe I think they're all in it together. I think that's what it is. It just has to be. There's no other thing it could be. It just doesn't make any sense. So, anyway, so let's here. I'm gonna send this to you guys. Oh, I need to retweet this out. Yeah. So, how do I put it in my? I can't put it in my in this chat here for these guys, can I?
Not directly.
I want to do this for you guys.
Unless you open your Twitter on your computer and then you copy paste it into the chat.
No, here. So when I had to just put that out on Twitter. So there you go. There you go, Brandon. I just put out the stats for you since you think he's afraid to show you how brainwashed you really are. Don't be brainwashed. Don't be a sheep. You can pull for somebody, but don't be a sheep. Don't repeat Don't repeat the talking points from the fucking corrupt media. I respect who you voting for and who you're pulling for, but he couldn't answer. Who couldn't answer the question? She didn't answer one question on Brett Baer. All she said, but Trump, but Trump, but Trump. It was Trump, but Trump, but Trump. That's all she said. Buddy, you can't run on January 6th and Trump is a threat to democracy, okay? You got to run on substance, on anything, but they have nothing to run on. When you have nothing to run on, you have to just blame it on Trump. Hey, when I was jacking off yesterday, I couldn't come. It was Trump's fault. Hey, when I was watching the game last night and I had Cleveland and under and Judge hit the 2-run homer to tie the game, guess whose fault it was? Everybody together, it was Trump's fault. The Democrats have been in charge of the government for 12 of 16 years. But guess why the inflation and why we have everything? It's Trump's fault. Everything is Trump's fault. What's our new game today? It's Trump's fault. Trump's fault. Yay. Trump's fault. Dun, 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 dun. It's first and second with 2 outs. Let's see. If he gets a hit, it's Trump's fault. If he gets an out, it's Trump's fault. That's a ball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. That ball was Trump's fault. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. He is a con man, so what? Dun, 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 dun. As Elon would say, we're voting against the machine. We're not really voting for a person. Because, puppet, you think Biden's running the country? All I heard about was Biden, Biden, Biden. Let me ask you something. Whoever is a Democrat in this chat, I want you to look with a straight face and say, yes, Joe Biden is running the country. I want you to actually type that in and tell me you believe that. Oh, there's another ball. That one's Trump's fault too. That's all. I just want to... Is Joe Biden running the country? Is Joe Biden running the country? Is Joe Biden running the country? No, you have not. You can't say it because you know he's not. But you argued with me for 3 fucking years when I told you. All they do is lie. You gotta vote against the machine, dude. The machine, the fucking endless wars, the fucking woke nonsense, the censorship. That's who I'm voting against. That's it. Come on. Look, they're hitting their head. Look at the Cleveland. They're tapping their heads. Let's go. Hit, hit, hit. That's a ball. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. The runners are going. That ball was Trump's fault. Dun, 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 dun. You guys are probably ahead of me because I'm on the iPad. So, anyways, Biden doesn't know where the United States is. Truly, he doesn't. He doesn't know where the United States are. Sure, yeah, the Russians. It's the Russians. Yeah, Russia. Let's do it again. Russia. It's Russia's fault that Kamala is going to lose. Russia. Come on, Cleveland. Come on, throw something over the plate that I could hit so I could blame it on Trump. And here comes the pitch. Struck him out. God damn it, he struck out. It's fucking Trump, motherfucker. It's all Trump's fault he struck out. The DOJ. What did I tell you about all the indictments? Oh, they indicted them. Oh, he's going to jail. Trump's going to jail. They're all getting dropped. Every one of them. You notice why if he was really a sexual assaulter and he was really a 34 count felon, wouldn't they be running the ads nonstop? Of course they would, because it always was political. Always. And it was always all going to get dropped. And they know they're all going to get dropped. And people aren't stupid. and she's losing the black vote. The black men are all voting for Trump. And so what does she do? She goes out and panders and makes a fool of herself and says, did you guys see what she put out? As a Democrat, as a Kamala supporter, aren't you embarrassed by what she put out? Even J. Cal, the Democrat on All In Podcast, was embarrassed. He said it was racist. Okay, we're going to give $1 million forgivable loans to all black people. And guess what else we're going to do? We're going to legalize marijuana like every black person smokes pot. Like, she's a fucking, oh my God, pandering fucking retard. Anyways. All right. Well, we got the Trump's fall out. Do you see what I just posted, Barry? He said he's afraid. Go look on Twitter. There's what afraid is. Look at true shit. The nannies, the Fanny and the Nathan's hot dog going. They're doing good, Hornet. Yeah, I could use a Nathan's hot dog right about now, but all I do is eat good shit. I want to get you guys a kitty. Should we get, what do you guys want to see, the boy or the girl? Since Danny had to chase them all over the room.
I'll try it again.
No, you're worthless, man.
Oh, you're going to do it?
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm going to do it. You guys want to see the boy or the girl? Because I don't know if I can catch them both. Come on, you guys. Type in. You want to see Mookie or Misty? Mookie's crazy. He's really crazy. Hold on. Let me go get Mookie. He's a real nuts. Hold on. Oh, Mookie, what are you doing? Where's that door? Mookie. I got 2 for 1. I'm not like Danny. I got them both. Come here, guys. Hold it. Say hi to everybody. Look, that's Mookie. That's Misty. La 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 la. Come on, you guys. Look how cute they are. Okay. Oh, the brothers and sister. The gray and white one, that's Mookie, Misty. Okay, you guys are seeing. Now I gotta put you away. You guys ready? Oh, you're so cute. Okay, we'll put you away. Oh no. They shit on the floor, really? They keep shitting on the floor. Yeah. Fucker shit on the floor. Can you believe it? I smelt it in there. I go look, and the shit's on the floor. I'm gonna have to go and clean it up. Anyways, there's the cats. The kitties. I think, listen, this is, if you read the room, this is, we're going to talk some politics. If you read the room, the Dems they're losing badly. If you read Trump fucking with Schumer yesterday, he even says to Schumer, I've known Chuck for 30 years. He's a good guy, and he taps him on the shoulder. He goes, oops, I probably shouldn't have said that. What does that tell you? It tells you that we're all being played. They want Trump in office. They want civil unrest. I'm starting to. My brother's been telling me this forever, that they're all fucking in it together. He might be right. He really might be right. But I do know that Trump is winning the election. Whether he wins or not, I don't know. But all the internal pollings tell you how you just see what they're saying and what they're doing is they're just desperate. I really believe that after the Trump assassination attempt, he made a lot of mistakes. and he could have just wrapped up the election. And then Kamala said, "Here, hold on, hold my beer. Let me make a mistake." And I just think that they're saying that she should have done more interviews. I'm thinking she should have done no interviews, because once she speaks, she's just so dumb that it's just embarrassing. So, anyways, who knows? Yeah, they're going to try and win the election, or steal the election. He won't get the popular vote because you have California and New York that don't have voter ID laws. So every illegal in California will be voting for her. So when you're completely against, think about this. How could you possibly be against voter ID laws? If you are, then you're anti. Like Elon says, if you're for open borders, endless wars, and no voter ID, you're anti-fucking American. He's right. You're anti-American if you're fucking for open borders and no voter ID. That's all. Anyways, all right. So we have our pick of the week is the Titans plus 10. I bought it up to 10 from 9.5. My second best pick of the week, what did I go with? I went with the Jets, minus 1.5 on the road against Steelers. And my third best pick, we stayed with the Giants, plus 3.5. And we'll see what happens. Trump lost the election because, Biden was the candidate. He was the president. Not Biden, but whoever actually is his puppet master for the last 3.5 years was the president. And they cheated better than the Republicans. And I don't think they could cheat as good this time. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, let's take some phone calls.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matusow on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live. 702-329-0480. Let's talk poker, politics, sports. What's up, my man?
Mike the Mouth, how's it going, buddy?
Good, buddy. What's up? How you doing?
Not too bad. This is Kevin from Kentucky, one of your old, long-time fans.
Oh, thanks for calling, Kevin. How you been doing?
Oh, just got back from the hot yoga session, so I'm a little
nice. You watching baseball, football? What are you doing? Playing poker?
I lost a little money in PLO, but just what I won yesterday, so I'm even for a couple days.
Yeah, PLO is very streaky. I mean,
yep.
It's I don't know. No limit hold'em. It's just it seems it's. I think the best PLO players will make more in the long run, but they won't swing as much. Yeah. They'll swing a lot more. I mean, where the no limit players.
Yeah, I'm having to play. I'm having to play like super low stakes right now because the bankroll's not where it needs to be, but we'll get there. So.
Buddy, I mean, I was at in 2017. I had zero. Middle of 2017, I had like 5K. I just built it up little at a time. Sold lots of little pieces.
That's what we're working on.
Just got to be patient. If you can't get rich all at once. And
exactly. So let's go a little bit into politics here, if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely. We're getting close to the election, so.
Yeah. So that interview with Kamala Harris that Brett Baer did.
Yes.
The single worst answer ever given in any kind of interview. Well, Donald Trump has been running.
You mean when they asked about turn the page, or when they asked about how many? Yeah.
Well, he was sitting there. He goes, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" He goes, "And Donald Trump is still running.
Right.
Has been running. Or
But
something.
listen,
I mean,
know what
she has zero idea of what's going on in the world.
None. Zero. She's just whatever she's told to say, she does. But the thing is what they're trying when they're this is what they're actually running on, okay? But they don't explain it. Like when they're saying turn the page, what they're basically saying is turn the page from divisive politics. But they're the ones that make it all divisive and then blame it on the Republicans. Correct. So
100%.
Yes.
What they're trying to do is turn this country into a one-party state.
Correct.
That's it.
That's what they're doing.
I mean, why else would they import 22 million illegal immigrants with 300 or 400,000 of them being complete criminals?
Correct. And that's what they did. That's why when Trump talks about the country being destroyed from within, he's talking about what they're allowed. I mean, think about, it's been proven how many murderers and rapists that were let into the country that's just what they know of. The 400,000. That's not what they don't. How about what they don't know of? You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And I think you'll probably agree with me on this, but I think Kamala's huge mistake was trying to fight a battle she couldn't win, aka immigration. She should have just stayed away from it, you know, instead of pushing commercials. I'm going to close the border. She's never going to close the border or secure the border, and everybody knows that. So when you say things like that, you're basically looking like a liar. She should have just stayed away from as much as she could. Now it was going to be hard to stay away from it. Yeah. You know, she's going to say, well, the Donald Trump border bill. Okay. Well, the border bill still let in 1.8 million illegals per year.
Exactly.
The border bill
Trump had it down to 200,000 a year got in while he was president.
The border bill had 60 billion going to Ukraine. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, and what, for 3.5 years, you didn't do anything for 3 years and 3 months until the election, till you realized it was going to be a problem when the election was coming up. Now, I don't live in these towns where they've imported all these illegal immigrants, like New York and Ohio and all these places, but you know, from what I hear, it's pretty bad. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm a school teacher, so I see some kids coming in. I have more than I've had in the past, but it's not, I wouldn't say substantially more. But,
right.
You know, I do see them coming into school. And
well, I mean,
more Hispanic than anything.
It's pretty easy to spread 13 million people into 360 million. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, it's basically what if you just drop like 300,000 in every state. You know. Yeah. So it's not that
pretty
hard.
Easy to do, but just in case. I bought a brand new AR-15, 1,000 rounds of ammo, and a 6-month supply of food I have just in case.
I don't blame you, man. I mean, listen, you know, when Trump, not if Trump wins, but when he wins, okay, you're going to see what real, what's it called is. I mean, I think I think the left's going to go crazy and they're going to burn down everything. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, starting with Jamie Raskin, that piece of crap from up north, that Democrat.
Yeah, listen, the thing is your the Republicans were 22% to win all three houses, all three chambers, and now they're up to 72%. That's pretty. Oh yeah, that's in like 2 weeks. You know, so
I think it's going to be Trump now, and if J.D. Vance doesn't have any skeletons come out of his closet or anything, which I don't think he will. Yeah, we're looking at about 12 years worth of Republican being in power.
It depends. It depends. I mean, you got to remember they destroyed Trump's president with all the bullshit with the Russia for 3 years, all lies. Right. You know, they spied on his campaign. They you know, you had the the lying dossier. I mean, they did everything they could to destroy his presidency. Yeah. So, and they'll do whatever they can again.
Right.
But what's going to be interesting, and I mean that, is if the whole reason they switched to Kamala was to save the Senate or the House. And they get the money inflowing to try and save the Senate or the House. He was always going to. Trump was always going to win if they didn't kill him. So, and that's still far from. You never know what's going to happen.
Right.
So all they need is one. All they have to do is hold the House or the Senate. I don't think they can catch the Senate. I think they can. I think the Democrats could win the House, and if they win the House, Trump's gotten he's got no they got no power. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
we got to have all three. If
they don't get all three, they don't have any power. So, I don't know, man. I just pray that there's going to be calm, but there won't be. We're 3 weeks till the election. There's never been an election season they're not just going to let Trump take power. They're not.
Right.
That maybe they won't what's it called, the election, verify it, and then they'll probably certify. They'll probably do everything that the Republicans tried to do in 2020, and then everybody will forget what the Republicans did in 2020, and they'll be like, "Hey, but it's Trump, man. We can't let him take power." But it's Trump.
Yeah, that Trump derangement syndrome is a bad disease. Isn't it?
That TDS is one sick disease, I'll tell you. But listen.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Who do you think? And this is another question. Who do you think Trump will make Attorney General? I hope he does Ted Cruz.
No, Ted Cruz is going to stay in. They need him in Texas.
Senate.
Who do I really think is going to be AG? Honestly. God, that's a good question. I mean, they're gonna put RFK in for health and human services. I could only presume.
Yeah, they'll be HHS. I kind of wonder what they're going to have Tulsi Gabbard do. Secretary of Defense, maybe.
She could be. She could be secretary. She could be Secretary of Defense. Absolutely. She's anti-war. She's pro-American.
Yep.
But as far as like you just asked, who would the Attorney General be? That's a fucking good question.
Yeah, because it's like I say, and on the outside, because what have they spent in Texas to keep Cruz out of the Senate? $100 million, I heard.
Yeah, and he's still
Something
up 5
like
points. What's so sad is it's all lies, as they say about him. I mean, I'm friends with the guy.
Yeah. I'm
telling you right now, the guy's a stand-up guy, dude. We talk about.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many things we talk about that I've talked to him about that I can't even talk about on the show. But I mean, like he's a good dude, and he believes he's going to win presidency in 2028. And I
don't know about that.
I mean, I like him a lot, but J.D. Vance is so polished. I mean, everything they said about him was just like he knows how to take an interview. He knows what to say. You look at him. He's not even been a fucking politician for what, 4 years, 3 years? Look at him and compared to Kamala, who's a complete disaster. Anyways, I'm gonna take some other calls.
She's had everything handed to her.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some other calls. I appreciate the call, man. And,
all right, Mikey. We'll talk soon.
You take care.
Be good.
Later. 702-329-0480. Give us a call. Vance is a clown. Have you seen the fucking Tampon Tim? He's a real fucking clown. Oh, that's what did you see what he said yesterday in the Al Smith dinner? Yeah. He's like, I used to think only women could have periods until I saw Tampon Tim. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Yo, Mikey. What? Gypsy Frank, what's up?
What's up, Frankie? How you doing, buddy?
Not bad, John. How you been?
I'm good, man. I mean, I've never can't believe how many losers I pick in the football. But that's why I don't bet this shit more. I bet 1,000 on each game. But it's like, even as bad as I've been running, I'm not down that much. But it's still frustrating to lose. But
yeah, of course, I understand.
I look at it and
as
I
long
say,
as it's not breaking the bank.
Yeah, I look at it and I say, now I know why I don't bet this shit. That's all I keep saying. Like when I had Cleveland under parlayed yesterday, and it was 3-1 at the top of the 8th with 2 outs, and they give up an 0-2 fucking trunk ball to fucking Judge to tie the game. And I started laughing, like, now I know why I don't bet this. But
yeah, I literally keep up with 0 of it. I realized I didn't really like sports that much. I just craved the action. That's why I was a degen sports bettor.
Yeah.
Now that I don't bet, I could care less to watch a football game, maybe the fucking Super Bowl or playoff games in NFL, but that's about it.
Wow, another double for this guy. This guy couldn't. Oh, it's foul ball. This guy Wells couldn't even get a hit. He was 0 for 40, and then he hit a home run his first time up.
Nice.
Wow, that barely went foul. Yeah, I'm just kind of watching. We're 2 weeks till the election, 18 days. So I'm getting a little bit more political. I try to stay away from it for months and months because I knew how bad it's going to get before the election. So, try and keep.
Yeah, I went out and voted today for the first time in my life.
Nice. You live where?
My wife is,
where do you live
Georgia.
again? Georgia. Good. We need all the votes we can get in Georgia.
Literally every person that I personally deal with, talk to on a weekly basis, that's never voted before, signed up to vote, and has voted. My wife has also never voted before. I'm praying to God that Trump wins. I don't see how anyone in their right fucking mind that has, a little tiny bit of common sense could want this woman representing America. Put politics to the side.
Agree.
Whether you're, conservative, left, whatever. How could we have her represent America?
Can't.
How fucking weak? What kind of job is she going to do?
She's so weak.
America will not exist anymore. It's scary.
I believe it too. I think she's so weak. And it's like I was talking with Matt Glantz. How I go back and forth with him on Twitter, but I also text with him on the side, right? And we're talking about how she's kind of imploded her campaign. And he goes, well, what do you think was going to happen to the most unpopular vice president that ever was vice president?
The woman's a fucking fruitcake, man.
She's a
there's
fraud.
No other fucking way to describe her.
But listen, in all reality, let's be honest, they had no choice. Biden was going to lose by 100 points. And they for sure were going to lose all 3 chambers. So they flipped to her. She's this wonderful black woman, blah blah blah, and it worked for what? For a couple months. But see,
I don't know if they thought she was going to be the second Obama, but when she tells black people that we'll give you forgivable loans and give you some weed to smoke,
could you imagine that? And then, by the way, then she changed. They realized how racist it sounded. So then they changed it the next day or 3 days later to everybody gets
Well, it's obviously illegal. You can't do so. I would imagine that's illegal to pass a fucking law for
it is.
One group of people.
It is. It's fucking racist. It's everything they accuse them. Is that unbelievable? And so,
what does it say? What does it say? Okay, you're black, you can't pay back a loan, and you like to smoke weed.
That's exactly what it says. Even I said that. Even Jay Cal from the All In podcast, he says, am I crazy, or does this sound like the most racist thing you ever heard?
There's nobody with a bit of common sense, even when she panders to the blacks.
Yeah.
The way she her dialect and the way she talks is so different than her normal speaking voice.
She's phony and fake.
Also.
Say what you want about Trump. You could call him an idiot. You could call him an orange moron. You could fucking call him an insurrectionist. You could call him anything you want. But fake, you can't call him. The guy says what's on his mind. He doesn't pander. He just says, Rosie O'Donnell, you're a fucking ugly bitch. I mean, he went up on stage in 2016 and said, I don't pay my taxes because I'm smart, but the only way you could fix it. Have you ever seen the the opening monologue for Saturday Night Live with Chappelle when he talks about Trump? It's the greatest.
I don't think I do.
Oh, you've got it. Just Google Dave Chappelle Saturday Night Live opening monologue talking about Trump. It's so funny.
I think I have, where he talks about him not paying his taxes.
Yeah, he goes, think about that. This motherfucker went on stage and told the world, I don't pay my taxes because I'm smart. Like, who does that? I mean, the guy is the most transparent. You ask him any question, he's just transparent. So now they're running with, oh my God, Trump won't debate me again. Oh, Trump won't do another interview. Well,
there's no way her administration would want to put her in front of a fucking camera.
Dude, she was supposed to go on Joe Rogan. She was supposed to go on Joe Rogan. Dude, after
my wife told me that last night.
After the Brett Baer interview, there's zero chance she's going on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, there's no.
She got a better chance. She's got a better chance being on the Mouthpiece podcast than she does on going on Joe Rogan. Okay, because there's like zero chance. Dude, Brett Baer.
You see that she's copying what Trump's wanting to do, like the no tax on tips, and then like closing the border and shit. It's too late for that fucking.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's the mistake she made. She should have stayed away from the border issue on her, right? She should have just tried to ignore it as much as she could. Instead,
why not just say, "Hey, we made a mistake.
Correct.
We dropped the ball here. We're going to try to do better."
That's it. Down. So I asked my ex-girlfriend Jerry, "What did you think of that answer?" And I said, "Jerry, why shouldn't she just said when they said, do you think you made a mistake letting 10 million illegals in?" That they should have said her answer. This is if she was a good candidate or even a average candidate, she should have said, I'm the vice president. I have zero input on any policy. And if I'm president, I would have done different, and I would have made sure that border was secure. And instead, she doubled down on Biden.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's the easiest pivot ever to say, hey, I'm not Joe Biden. My policies are different. Do I believe that we made a mistake? Yes, we made a mistake. And it happens, but we're fixing it now. Instead, she doubled down on stupid, and people aren't. They think black people are stupid.
There's so many ways to answer that question. Like, she didn't even have to bash Biden if she didn't want to. She said we could always do better. Something along those lines.
Anything like that. We could do better. We will do better, you know. And I'm surprised that Brett Baer went after her for the sex change in prison thing. But the truth of the matter is, and when being in a swing state, Nevada, right, and you're a swing state, Georgia, so you see it over and over, right? They said the most effective ad of all the ads is her saying that she's for sex change for inmates in prisons. Because it's so crazy, right? It sounds so crazy and insane that people are like, I don't watch this. This woman's nuts. Like, you heard about the one guy that raped like this 12-year-old, 6-year-old girl, was in prison, and he got a sex change and got moved.
Impregnated a couple chicks
in a woman's prison. I mean, come on. What world are we living in? I don't care. You could be like, I have nothing against anybody, but I mean, you could
do whatever you want with your prick, with your cunt. Exactly.
Dude,
I get it.
Exactly. But you fucking rape a young girl, and then you want to go to prison and get a sex change so you could be in. I don't blame him. If I was fucking in jail for life, I would say I want to be a woman too, so I could go fucking. Can you? I mean, think about.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about it.
I'd rather be in fucking jail with a bunch of fucking women and bull dykes than with Big Bubba. Obviously.
Yeah, exactly. So crazy, man.
This is the problem. This might, I don't mean to sound not politically correct, but I'm not going to shy away from my faith or whatever.
Right.
The left obviously lacks any type of morals because morals come from God. That's
Correct.
where we get our moral standards. And absent of God, this is what you end up with.
Correct. But there is people on the left, there's probably people in this chat in this left that believe in God, that are religious, but don't know how far left the Democrats have moved. Do you see what I'm trying to say? In other words, they're Democrats their whole lives, and they just believe what they see. Like, here, let's go with Elon for a minute, or let's go with Tulsi, or RFK, or Nicole Shanahan. I mean, RFK ran as a Democrat, right? They fucking booted him because they didn't want anybody to challenge. They were always going to go with Kamala. He was never running. I lose $40,000 for no reason because he was never running. You can't have a brain dead person run for president. Okay?
Oh, you have to pay that fucking money?
Yeah. Because
oh, that's ridiculous.
That's bullshit. Because he never was running. Never, ever, ever was running. Ever. It was always bullshit.
Yeah, that's a fucking joke.
And so the truth of the matter is he was never running. She was always going to be the nominee. And they knew that she could never win a Democrat primary. Ever. So they wouldn't let Phillips in. They wouldn't let RFK in. Think about that. Nicole Shanahan was a progressive leftist in 2020. She went to Georgia and fought for Raphael Warnock to win that Senate seat. And now she's a Trump MAGA Republican. Think about that.
Awesome.
Think what it does. You don't go from a far left Democrat to a MAGA Republican in 2 years. Okay? What happens is you get shown the truth. And the truth is their censorship, lawfare, what they did to RFK, they put 9 lawsuits. They were going to fucking bankrupt him and her to fight to get on the ballot. Okay? And they were always going to have Kamala because they knew that she's their person. Just like when she came out in 2019, they put out all that money and she was polling at 19%, and 2 weeks later she was polling at 1%. Okay? She's just, I don't know what she is.
The woman, I mean, she could talk, like, let's say you give her 45 seconds to make a statement. She fucking just uses fucking word, like, gibberish, and she could talk for a minute and literally make not one statement.
No,
she says the same things over and over, and imagine her dealing with fucking Vladimir Putin or Kim Jong-un, you know, as the leader
or
of
the Middle East.
Or the Middle East. We fucking want to run America? Put politics and shit to the side. The woman is a fucking fruitcake.
Listen. You know, like I said, you know, Daniel's been as far left, anti-Trump his whole life, right? And what you just said is what he says. He's like
your fucking biases.
He's like, I'm sorry, but World War III is the most important thing on the menu, okay? And there's no way that her weak ass can deal with. Look how emotional she got just from the interview with Brett Baer. Can you imagine? Like, it's just listen. You don't. It's not about voting for Trump. Okay, it's about voting. The world's unstable right now.
It's the best interest for America.
Correct.
Moving forward.
At least for the next 4 years, it is. You know. And do I wish it was somebody else? Sure. You know, but it's not. And this is their fault. They should have never, ever, ever. They should have told Biden 2 years ago, you are not running for re-election. You know, but I think they did it on purpose because they know that she could never win a primary. So don't you believe that that's what they did?
Yeah, it was obviously some type of premeditated thing.
Of course it was. Of course it was. You know,
they're smarter than me and you. I know that.
Yeah, of course, they knew she could never win a primary. This was their only chance to get their person in. And they had nobody else to run. And I don't know why they wouldn't embrace RFK. The guy was so loved in the Democrat Party by the Democrats.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Trump could serve, 4 to 8 years, then possibly Vance, and then maybe RFK in the future. I don't know how old he is exactly.
I mean, he's 73. And listen, I kind of understood. He said, listen, if I didn't get out and back Trump, I can never. He promised me that I could get the toxic shit. Think about what they're going to do. This is why this is far from over. I'm still not sure they're not going to kill him. I mean, think about what RFK says. We're going to fix the health in this country. We're going to fix the CIA. We're going to fix. I mean, like, we're going to fix the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry gives every one of these corrupt motherfuckers all their money, right?
Ridiculous.
I mean, do you really think they're going to let some? Maybe they want. I'm telling you, I think they want unrest. That's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the end game, like the end plan.
I'm going to tell you this, Frankie. The end game isn't Trump winning in 2 weeks and walking into power. That is no way going to be the end game. There's no chance. Now, I'm not saying he ain't going to win, but it ain't going to be, he's going to win, he's going to walk into power. It ain't going to happen. They won't let it happen. I don't know,
what, it's 2 attempts on his life, another conspiracy?
Yeah. I mean, when you go, they're sitting there, listen what they're saying. Listen what they're saying in the fake news, like, oh, Trump this, Trump won't do that, Trump do this, that. They're desperate. They're just desperate. You know, they're saying, oh, Trump's up. Like Brett Baer tried to call her out and said, what do you mean? You keep saying Trump's unfit. And then he goes, but how long have you known for Biden? They wouldn't, like, so basically they're saying, well, you're telling me that Biden's fit, but Trump's unfit.
But Trump is unfit, exactly.
You know, and you know, you just it's just I was so shocked that Brett Baer said what he did, because he's an anti-Trumper. You know that. He's the farthest left anchor that Fox News has.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So I was completely shocked. I thought he was going to feed her softball questions. And she wouldn't answer anything. I mean,
if she couldn't handle that, imagine what the fuck Joe Rogan will do out of that bitch.
Oh, yeah. Dude, a rumor like that doesn't just start circulating unless it was going to happen. Because Rogan talked that Elon said Trump will be on Joe Rogan before the election. So that means sometime in the next week, correct?
Maybe she's just trying to save face and fucking, like, she mimicked everything else he's trying to do, mimic that. I don't know.
This is why I think that this is my opinion. Okay, tell me what you think. And then I'm going to get some other callers in here. They're sick. They realized the far left turn they took with the open borders and the crime, the assault on crime, and they're trying to pivot to the center. Now, you could say, well, she was pandering to the center, okay, by trying to mimic all of Trump's policies. But maybe they want Trump to win, and so then in 2028, they go back to the middle from the get-go, and they get rid of this toxic, woke, far-left bullshit. What do you think?
I mean, that's the only possible, chance they have to get back into power. Because when you're on the complete opposite side of the spectrum and then trying to come back to the center, me who's on the right just sees it for what it is. It's a fucking lie, obviously. Actions speak louder than words, I suppose.
Yeah, that's my only thought. Okay, I think when Trump gets into power, the next 4 years, what they're going to do is they're not going to push those left policies. In other words, they're going to really pivot to where when Obama got elected, right, in 2008, like, they weren't even for gay marriage yet. That's how far to the right they still were. And then they fell off a cliff. Like, I mean, like,
well, that's the thing. They take, like, points like abortion. That is a big thing, and there's a lot of Americans that are split on it. Right. But then when you go to the extremes, like, putting tampons in the men's bathroom and, kids' fucking restrooms and stuff, like, 99% of Americans don't fucking care for that. Correct. And it makes them look like however they are.
And here's another thing, okay? Now, this is really weird. Now, I'm gonna get another caller after this, but I'm gonna leave you on this. I don't know if it's the same in Georgia, but all I heard was over and over and over for like 2 months. Abortion, 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 abortion. All of a sudden, like, those ads are no longer playing. It's more Trump is unfit. Trump is unfit. Oh, his generals, his vice president, they tell you they're running with unfit over abortion the last 2 weeks in Nevada. I don't know if they've cut the abortion commercials down in Georgia. Have you noticed that or no?
I'm still, like, on my YouTube and stuff, like, online ads, see some abortion stuff, women's rights, etc.
Yeah. But who knows? We'll see. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to get another call, buddy.
Good
Have a great
talking to
weekend.
you, Mike.
You too, my man.
Take care. Good luck.
Take care. Thanks for voting. Tell everybody you know to get out and vote that hasn't voted.
100%. Take care.
Yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's really weird. I don't know one person voting for Kamala. I don't know. I go out and I ask people. Who knows, man? It's going to be crazy. Could be a crazy 3 weeks. I'll tell
Hello.
you much. Welcome to Mouthpiece. It's Mike.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for taking my call. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Hey, I was just thinking, you don't talk too much about finance, and well, except poker, and but you know, all this politics stuff. The trouble with the inflation is the end of the dollar.
Correct.
In 71, you know, we were back in the dollar with some gold, and they started spending it faster than they could tax, and they made Nixon close the gold window because everybody wanted their gold back.
Yeah.
So our money hasn't been backed by anything, and everything's in chaos right now.
Yeah.
And
Agree.
They're saying, you know, all this stuff is, you know, ruining the country. I think this is a result of the money's not worth anything. You know, when we were kids, I'm your age.
Yeah.
Dad worked, Mom stayed home.
Correct.
You had the home, you had the car. You still went on vacation for a week.
My dad's.
You look at yeah, go ahead.
My dad's first house he built in Tarzana. Right. He just hit a 3-run shot, didn't he? Yep. Long gone. 6-2 Yankees. Wow, Stanton's on fire. How did they ever pitch to him? Anyways, my dad built a house in Braemar, California for $89,000 was what he paid. Was what it cost to complete house. Yep. It was a 5,000 square feet house. Do you know what that thing is selling for today?
Oh, probably what, 600,000-700,000.
1.9.
Whoa.
1.9.
Whoa.
Now we sold it in 1978 and moved to Vegas. My dad sold it for $189. We were there for 5 years. Bought a house cash in Vegas and sold it for whatever, double that. But the point I'm trying to make is in the 60s, 50s, 70s, okay, even 80s, you went out, you bought a car for $10,000, you bought a house for between $50,000 and $200,000, okay?
Yeah.
And you worked to make $1,000 a week, whatever. $1,000 a week was a lot of money when when your house only costs.
And you guys still went on vacation as a family
Correct.
for a week every year,
Correct.
right?
And so what they've done is the fact that I sold my house in 2016 for $420. It's now worth $820. Okay, nobody can afford a house because the inflation's so high. Okay, and even the price of like McDonald's, a Big Mac, fries, and a Coke is $16. Used to be able to feed a family of 4 for $10.
Yep.
You know, now it's a family of 4 is $60. Like if you're making $15 an hour, that's 4 hours of your work to feed a family of 4 at McDonald's. This is unsustainable, and it's not.
So,
and people that want to think, well, it's price gouging. No, it's inflation caused by what you motherfuckers have done with the dollar. That's why when Elon says he's going to be create a new Department of Government Spending, DOGS, whatever, like he's gonna like put the curve on the government spending. So if you stop the government spending, you lower the interest rates, you get more oil, you drill baby drill. That's going to bring the inflation down. Like, people don't understand. Okay, yes, COVID caused a lot of the inflation around the world. We all know that because they had to print the fucking money. But that was, if you believe what I believe, that COVID was released on the world on purpose, okay, then They created this whole fucking vacuum. They did it on purpose. The only way to fix it is get Trump in office. So I don't know, man.
You know, the only thing he did last time he was elected that scared the hell out of me was he wanted bailouts and negative interest rates.
Yeah, because he's a Democrat.
I was hoping he'd be a little more strict on his finance. That's
well, you're right.
Bending the knee to the globalists.
You're right. But Trump, let me tell you something. Trump's a fucking 2008 Obama Democrat. Okay, he's not a Republican. He's been a Democrat his whole life. Okay, in 2012 he switched. He started to switch parties, but he still was. You know, that's when he backed Romney. You know, but he gave money to Hillary. In 2008. So like Trump was a Democrat. So he is very. I think Trump coming to the Republican Party was a good thing because he brought the party a little bit more to the left to where it worked. Does that make sense? But
yeah, and even he did less damage. Even if he didn't do anything great, at least it stopped the global plan of
correct. And they want a global plan. They're globalists. They want a one world economy. They want rules for one. They want to get rid of free speech. I mean, the thing is like all you have to do is look at the Twitter files, right? And look what they really were. You know, look how what they've done to censor American citizens. Now, the left, the Democrats were always the pro-free speech party, the anti-war party, and now they're the pro-war party, pro-big pharma party, anti-free speech. And all those people who are Democrats are now coming over to the other side. Now, listen, I think the GOP is fucking as corrupt as anybody. So, but I mean, it's just I don't think you really have a choice. Whatever.
No, I think it's fine. We got to get the finance. I think all of our infighting, everybody's, hates each other. We're all divided, and it's all over. There's no value left in the dollar, and that's what's creating it all. And we need to get our financial. Our finances in order in this country to really heal, get forward.
I agree,
and get back on top.
They've got to make
that's our big problem.
They got to make things affordable for people. They can't have, like I said, like even in the poor areas or the black Latino areas, right? Like you can't have $16 for a Big Mac, fries, and a Coke. Like nobody can survive. Nobody can eat.
Right. Yeah, and when people start missing meals, hang on to your hat. It's going to get wild.
It's going to get wild.
Absolutely.
The next 3 weeks is going to get fucking wild.
Yeah.
All
right, man.
All right, man. I appreciate your call. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, I appreciate you, Mike. Take
you
care.
Got it.
Thank you.
Take care. Dude, I like what Elon said the other day. He said the reason why they're scared of Trump being in office is they're all going to be outed for being on the Epstein client list.
Randy here.
Oh, what's up, buddy? How's it going?
Good. Hey, so I'm listening to the podcast here, and I was just I wrote down a couple things. I started thinking earlier, you were talking about the Attorney General. Who could Trump have as Attorney General? And here's what I come up with. What do you think about it? Trump gets in office, right, and then he retires Clarence Thomas, puts in a 42-year-old new justice on the Supreme Court, makes Mr. Clarence Thomas, who they've been after for years, the Attorney General. What do you think?
I think that's pretty out there, but why not?
Well, it's out there, but it's brilliant. It's brilliantly out there.
What's really amazing is, like, if you look how when Clarence Thomas was trying to get confirmed in the Senate, right? Who hit him harder than anybody?
Oh, the Anita Hill thing.
Biden hit him harder than anybody. Have you seen the video of Biden interrogating him? So, like, when they passed that immunity on Trump, which I honestly think all presidents should be immune from anything in office. You know what I'm saying? That's why they have impeachment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What are you going to do? They'd all be arrested for war crimes.
Correct. Every one of them would be arrested for war crimes. I mean, Obama would be in prison for life for what he did in Libya. You know? Yeah. So, it's just, they want to just say, it was the right decision, But listen, I don't know how long you've been listening to the podcast, but I've been saying for a year, all those indictments were all phony, fake, and political. And I've been proven to be right. Not one. That woman is never going to see a quarter. That's going to get dropped. The $450 million, that's going to get dropped. You know what, though? The truth of the matter is, you talk about, the left talks about retribution. Trump wants his retribution, right? I can't wait to see what he does to that Judge Oregon. Whatever the fucker's name is.
That Letitia James, the Al Smith dinner last night. Letitia James, just looking at her made me sick, actually. But here's Kamala Harris. She skips the biggest Jewish Catholic dinner in the country.
Yeah, pretty sick.
But Letitia James is there. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Trump was good. He pivoted pretty well. He goes, well, about 75% of this room love me, 25% hate me, but that's okay. I thought the way he interacted with Schumer was pretty. He kept saying they've been friends for 20 years, and now I believe it. Like, they were like buddy last night. Like.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. My brother's been saying forever they're all in it together, and all they do is divide us all on purpose. He goes, if Trump wins, they want him to win. If they loses, they want him to lose.
Yeah,
maybe he's right.
There's a little bit of that New York City brotherhood thing that goes on.
Trump's done so much for New York, and look what they try to do to him. I'm for an eye, and I know Trump is seething for retribution, and he's going to get it, But the only ones that I think that the retribution should be against is Judge Oregon and Alvin Bragg and Letitia James. Yeah, the rest of them.
Well.
I don't know.
What do you do with that nutcase, Jean Carroll, I think her name is.
Well, she's never getting a quarter. She's never getting a quarter, ever. Just think about that woman. Think about the things that she said. Rape is sexy. She's crazy. And her favorite show was The Apprentice. There's tweets of her tweeting her friends I got to watch The Apprentice tonight. I'm telling you. I know when Trump's telling the truth and when he's lying. I'm telling you, he never met that woman. He might have took a picture with her, but he never met her. How many people I take? Think about it. When I go to the World Series, I take probably 1,000 pictures, 2,000 pictures every 6 weeks. How many pictures do you think Trump's took with somebody in his life?
Hundreds of, probably over
2 million?
1,000. I don't.
Come on, more. If I tell you I take 1,000 or 2,000 every World Series, he probably takes pictures a day. He probably takes 100,000 pictures a month, a year. Who the fuck knows? This guy was the most famous person in the world for years.
Yeah, and he is now. And he definitely is. Now, did you get a chance? Well, I know you did. I don't think you've talked about it yet. Vance versus Waltz, a slam dunk if there ever was one, huh?
Yeah, that was an absolute beatdown. That was a beatdown really bad. I was not a big supporter of J.D. Vance as vice president, but now I am, because he's really, 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 really pivoted. He was really good in that debate. He beat him down as bad as Trump beat Biden.
I thought the Trump team would use that line by Waltz. Sometimes I'm just a knucklehead on ads, but I haven't seen it yet. Maybe they're saving it.
Well, you got to remember, a vice president doesn't do much. That's why Kamala had an easy out on the Brett Baer interview. All he had to do is just say I'm the vice president. I don't create policy. Do I think we made some mistakes? Sure, we made some mistakes. But I'm running for president, and I'm going to fix those mistakes. There's so many things he could have said. What did she say? But Trump. Everything. She mentioned Trump in a 25-minute interview like 56 times or something.
I still think she came across as nasty, ugly. Okay, let's get to the point. Right off the bat. I just think she's a nasty person. I think that's why like 90% of her staff quit in the first 12 months.
She's a phony person. She's phony. And phony comes across as nasty because if you're phony, you become nasty. Okay? Like, say what you want about Obama, right? I mean, he was a good politician and he came across as sincere, right?
A lot better back then than he is now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't like him too much anymore.
No. And say what you want. Like, you got to come across as authentic. Like, anybody that... See, you can't just vote for somebody because you hate the other person. You have to have somebody that inspires you. Does that make sense? Like, Trump is loved by 35% of the country. Like, loved.
Yeah.
And there ain't 5% of the country that's voting for Kamala because they love Kamala. You see what I'm trying to say? And you can't win an election because you hate somebody. You can't win on hate.
Well, Kamala, she is. We're in a time in history where gender politics, gender identity has taken hold, not just in America, but over in Western Europe and other places. And she's writing that as far as she can, and then she's throwing abortion in there, and she's trying to get all those people that'll vote for anybody that just stands for that. Far left. Far left is that.
I have a friend, my friend Ashley, she's one of my dear friends. She's on the far left, right? And she's like, well, if it wasn't for abortion, I would consider voting. I'm like, so abortion's killing babies? They're not a baby until they're born. So then I sent her a picture of a 5-month-old baby in the womb. I said, that's not a baby? I mean, it's fully developed. How could you say it's not a baby? It's a living baby. But listen, I'm pro-choice up to 15 weeks, I think, 12 weeks.
I think it's reasonable for anybody, right?
Yeah, but I mean, once a brain's developed and a baby's developed, like they're like something like 90% of babies at 5 months, 20 weeks live. Like it's a full baby. I mean, I just don't know how you could run on just abortion like that. That doesn't even.
Well, she's got these fanatic. Well, here's what I think: it's this combination, Mike, where it's women are yesterday's children, and this has been going on for a couple of decades now. So when you were a little girl and you go to kindergarten, from the time of kindergarten through college, you are taught that you have been oppressed by males. Now these women are up there, and now they've got a taste of affirmative action, and now they've got a taste of, wait a minute, I just got somebody in trouble because he looked at me sideways. Wow, I've got this power. I don't think I'll give this up. So she's got the most evil part, and there's a large group there, and she is banking on all them voting for her. And there's books been written about it. The more you can claim to be the victim and be rewarded for it, the more ways you'll find to be victimized.
Yeah.
So it is, she's got, and I think that's over 40% of her base.
Yeah.
And it is a...
Kamala is not smarter than me. Kamala is one of the dumbest people I've ever seen in politics, to be honest with you. The thing is like, I used to think she was a good politician when, she attacked Kavanaugh pretty bad, but it's almost like, I think what's cratering her campaign is she's unauthentic. Like, stick up for what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to run on what they're telling her to run on, and it's not her. She's truly a leftist Marxist that's trying to run as a centrist, and so she comes across as unauthentic because everybody knows she's fake. Would you agree?
You know what?
I mean, that's all.
Yeah, absolutely. She's trying to move the line all the way over as far as she can to be center instead of this big leftist that she is. And I've called in a couple times before, and I've said, and I know this don't pick up any traction. I don't completely believe it myself, but I always say she has alcohol-related dementia, where she's got something. Because I think there's a deterioration between who she is now and who she was when she sat in the Senate, which I thought was a fairly sharp person.
Yeah, I thought she was smart. I thought she was a leftist, but I thought she was smart.
But now, you notice how she said Trump. All of a sudden, she's saying he's lost his faculties. Huh?
Well, yeah, they're desperate. So they're like, oh, Trump's old and he's lost his mark. Like, Trump is the sharpest person I've ever seen for any age. I mean, like he's 78. You would think he's like 20. I mean, the guy's smart. I mean, you say what you want about him. You could say I hate him. You could say he's orange. You could say anything you want. But to say like he's lost, like he's got any type of dementia or any type of losing it upstairs is just insanity. And that's what they're trying to run on now. Listen, they got the internal polls. There's 18 days away. They're getting crushed. They're throwing anything out right now and hoping something sticks. And nothing is sticking. And listen, am I shocked that this turn happened here the last 2 weeks? No, because I told you what she was, and she wasn't going to be able to hide like Biden. Like Biden didn't have to do anything because he just ran from the basement with COVID. And she couldn't hide. Yeah. Once she got exposed, once she had to talk, once she had to be the person they're trying to make her be. Like when they first started the commercials, they came out like she's some wonderful person that just came out of nowhere, is running for president. Like half the people didn't even know she's been the sitting vice president for 4 years. You know what I mean? And so
nobody knows what he's doing. That's for sure.
But I think they made a mistake. I'm going to tell you right now. I knew about a month ago when they started pushing when they started putting out commercials with Trump's wall in it. Literally had Trump's wall in it that he built. That they're for secure borders. That's when I knew they're in big trouble. Because now they said, oh, we're for secure borders. No tax on tips. They started running on Trump's policies. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, you can't say that because in their mind, they're like, well, Trump's an asshole, but his policies are good. So then they just said, okay, well, we'll just run on Trump's policies. But you can't do that. You have to run on your own ideas. And I think that really hurt them a lot.
And here in the last couple hours, she did a rally and said, actually, Trump is tired. If he's tired now, maybe he's not in good enough physical condition.
The guy will be doing 6 rallies a day starting next week. Do you know in 2020 he did 7 rallies in a day?
He's a machine. Nobody's ever seen anything like him.
I've never seen anything like he's like Elon Musk. Elon Musk sleeps 4 hours a day. Trump sleeps 3.5 hours a day. And they just work and work. And I've never seen anything like it.
No.
Those two are machines. They asked Elon, you're worth so much money. Why do you work? He goes, because you can't have success unless you work. He goes,
they can't sleep. Their minds don't stop.
And like, even Mark Cuban, who hates Trump, right? Like he congratulated Elon on the successful, like, dude, he said 3 years ago about this rocket, this big booster re-landing and he accomplished it. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris didn't congratulate him on that because they thought it was going to hurt them politically. But
of course,
they should have,
Well, what they need to get...
All they should have done is said, congratulations to SpaceX for accomplishing right? They didn't have to say Elon. They could have just said for SpaceX. You see what I'm saying? They didn't even do that. But, listen, if you've listened to this podcast for the last 2 years, you know what I've said. Elon Musk buying Twitter will change the world. Was going to change the world. He's going to save free speech and save the world. Okay. Now, I knew he was somewhat red-pilled. Did I believe he was like 50 degrees farther right than me? No, but he is. And when you see a smart person like Elon, and the Democrats, they have only themselves to blame. They had Bernie Sanders and Elon or Elizabeth Warren attacking him, telling he doesn't pay his fair share. The guy paid $18.8 billion with a B in taxes last year, and the guy doesn't even care about money. He bought fucking Twitter for $44 billion. It's worth like $5, and so. It's just that he was a Democrat. He voted for Biden 4 years ago. You can't hate him because he changed his politics, and that's what they're trying to make him do. And, luckily for the GOP, having Elon, mostly surrogates that go on the road, they don't do shit for the campaign. But Elon, he said he's going to be at 12 rallies in the next 3 weeks in Pennsylvania. Like, if you don't think he moves the needle, you're just dumb. He's the only surrogate maybe in history that moves the needle. Guy's got over 200 million followers on Twitter.
Yeah, he's amazing. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was a huge pickup, and Elon's even a bigger pickup.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish they'd start showing up on more commercials. I really do.
Well, you have to understand, they can't. Trump wants to have Elon and RFK more involved, but you can't let them. Like when RFK was introduced, right? When he first dropped out, you saw the fireworks, you saw how big that was. I thought he would be on all the campaign trails with him, but but then you have people voting, yelling for more. Trump needs to be the centerpiece at all times. I think they're doing the right thing, And the thing is Trump was losing after Kamala became the nominee. Trump was fucking blowing the election left and right because he didn't know how to attack her, and then he figured out how to attack her. Just let her talk, and then talk about what she talks about, and that's all you had to do. And then stick to immigration and crime and inflation. Immigration, crime, and inflation. And so far, he's been on message. He's got 18 days to fucking say crime, immigration, inflation. Crime, immigration, inflation. And they cannot lose. But he's a moron. He could easily go off message and say something crazy tomorrow. And we have to worry about that. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, all right, man. I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good one. Peace out.
Yeah, peace out, buddy. Yeah, so I'm gonna next week we're gonna have some people on, some guests. We're gonna talk some politics before the election, 10 days before the election. I'm gonna have some famous poker players on. And we'll talk what their thoughts of the election are and which way they're leaning. And then we'll give our pick of the weeks, and hopefully we'll do better this week. So my pick of the week, Tennessee Titans. I bought it up to 10 from 9.5. My second best pick are the Jets at Pittsburgh. And we got off the Jags. They're my fourth best pick. I'm going with the Giants plus 3.5. Thanks for listening to the Mouthpiece. Hopefully we'll get my medication right and I can play some poker. See you next week. Peace.
The Mouthpiece.